Today I want to talk about one of my absolute favorite products for controlling stable flies. I've been using fly predators for many years. I would say probably 14 to 15 years. And I've tried a couple of different companies and I highly recommend Spalding Labs. They have really great customer service and everything comes exactly when it's supposed to, and I haven't had any issues at all. So basically what fly predators are little bugs that eat the bad bugs. So this is as big as they get, and they eat the pupa of the biting flies. These fly predators work pretty good at eradicating the bad biting flies if you use them properly. So there's a few things that you want to make sure that you pay attention to when using these. So the first thing is to make sure that you release them at the right time. And you also want to spread them everywhere. I made some mistakes with that and I didn't spread them around enough. They can cover about 150 feet or so. So you want to make sure that you put them everywhere that there's going to be any rotting hay or wet material or manure. Areas that horses really congregate in that are going to have a lot more flies, you want to make sure that you sprinkle them everywhere on the property. I also like to put these out at night. We have chickens and there's always birds out hunting and such, and I want to make sure that I put these out at night to kind of give them an opportunity to burrow into the ground for safety. What I typically do is I like to order a little bit more than what I actually need because we're in a very wet environment. We're in Michigan, the summers are hot and humid, and we have tons of flies. So I want to make sure that I get a little bit more than I need just in case. Now, how I know that these are ready to put out is you can see that there's a bunch crawling around in the package. So I want to make sure that I get these out before they sit in here for too long. I'm going to show you the areas that I spread these around and how I do it. So the first place I'm going to start is in my colt's paddock. This is Manzer. He's my yearling stud colt. And what I'm going to do is take and just sprinkle around in any of the wetter areas. This shelter is where he likes to poop and pee, so there's always damp areas. So I'm just going to kind of sprinkle it a little bit through here. This is another area that there's usually some manure, so I just sprinkle a little bit here and there. And it's better to do that than it is to dump it all. I've done that before too, and I really found it made a big difference. I'm just sprinkling little bits here and there. And now we have a manure pile right here behind our arena. So I want to make sure that I sprinkle a little bit around this area. Okay, now let's go to the next area. Now right now is July, and in July they send me a double shipment. So I have twice as many fly predators to sprinkle around right now, and I want to find all like this area is pretty wet, and this is manure that we piled up this spring, so I want to make sure that I get it in all the high manure areas. We just had a lot of rain the last couple of days, so this is a perfect time to put it out because everything's kind of wet and yucky, and we're supposed to have some nice weather now for a while. The nice thing about these fly predators is they don't bother horses or humans or any animals. They simply are hunting for the pupa of stable flies. So they do their job and don't really bother anybody. I'm also not worried about using fly traps because these little guys, they prefer to stay in the manure piles and on the ground looking for their next meal. So they're not looking to get caught in a fly trap. Now, I'm just going to open this up, make sure I get all these little guys. These packages are super easy to open too, and I love that. You want to see? Well, come on. Sally's like, I'm certain it's nothing to eat. Rosie's like, I'm certain it must be something to eat. We have some hay on the ground here, so I want to make sure that I put my fly predators around this hay because it did get wet And this is a perfect breeding ground for stable flies. So I want to make sure to get this all over in here. The horses like to hang out over here too because of the shade that the trees provide. Hi, Manzer. So I want to make sure that I get all of my manure piles. I just do a little sprinkling around them. In addition to using fly predators, there's a few other things that we do to minimize the fly population on our farm. And one of those is we make sure to clean up as much manure as we can. We have a lot of horses, so it's hard to get everything, but we'll scrape our pastures and try to pile it up and get rid of it as much as we can. I highly recommend Spalding fly predators. They've worked really good for us. Last year we didn't use them and I saw a huge difference in the amount of flies that we had. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Bye.